everyone. I'm Whitney Miller, the owner of Transcend Health and Wellness, and today I want to talk to you all about my biggest accomplishment in running so far, my 35 miles in 22 hours, which I did last weekend on my birthday, January 22nd, and the following morning, January 23rd, 2021. So I thought I would do a little video because I wanted to share with you guys the experience. I wanted to talk a little bit about it, how I trained before, after, how I recovered, just all of the pieces. So I get the question a lot, how did you come up with this? And I want to start there. So 35 to me was an exciting number. I'm not somebody who kind of goes, oh God, that's really old. I love birthdays. I love celebrating, and I love kind of a new space. So I was excited. I wanted to do something that challenged myself, and somehow I came up with 35 miles in 24 hours. It started as 24 miles in 24 hours, and then I wanted to do the number that, of miles that I turned, and then it was 35 miles in 35 hours, and then I thought, well, is that challenging enough? And so you can see where it went. I decided to do it, and my major focus leading up to it was two things: strength training and mindset. So I'll tell you why running wasn't one of those. And I'm going to tell you that I'm a lot different from a lot of running coaches and a lot of runners, because running was third on my list. So let's talk about strength training. I have spent a majority of my running time, my running career, I guess you'd say, being injured, being a struggling runner, dealing with pain, dealing with frustration, dealing with hating my body, dealing with hating my running because it was uncomfortable. And about 2.5 years ago, I was at a breaking point, and I was told I needed surgery. Long story short, I didn't need surgery. I found some incredible people, incredible resources, and through physiotherapy, through mindset work, through strength training, I was able to heal what I was once told I needed surgery for. So strength training became this new thing for me that I learned very quickly was the core to me running faster, longer, stronger without any injury. And so over the last 1.5 years, I have been in this journey to develop not only a system for myself, but a system that now I'm sharing with other runners called Transcend Strength for Runners. And I have been implementing that system into my training for the last 1.5 years or so. So strength training has proven to me and to my clients, my runners, that you can run longer, faster, stronger without injury by running less and strength training more. So strength training was my number one thing when I went into this goal of 35 miles in 24 hours. So I wanted to kind of share a little bit about my weekly routine of my training plan. So typically I would strength train 4 days a week and run twice. So a lot of us as beginner runners, or maybe as not as experienced runners, or as experienced runners, because I was an experienced runner who was running more than I was doing strength training, we think it's the opposite. But I have proven through this experience, through my clients, through this program that I've created, that it's really, if your body is strong and capable, that it can be put under tension, under time, and excel in that strength training area. You can run more miles, stronger, faster, longer without injury than the opposite way around. So strength training was my number one thing, and I did implement Transcend Strength for Runners in my training. So a little bit about that. 4 pieces that I implemented into my strength training are mobility, and I talk a lot about that over in the video about Transcend Strength for Runners that you can check out. I also implemented functional lifting into my strength training. I also incorporated endurance strength training, which is really putting your body under tension over time, adding in that endurance, adding in that running so that you can increase stamina and endurance and your athletic ability. And then a really nice consistent cool down of yoga-based exercises mixed with a little soft tissue massage, mobility work that allowed me to really make my strength training successful. So strength training was number one. Number two is mindset. In my book, mindset is king. So mindset, what did I do to run 35 miles in 24 hours? Well, it's not it's not a perfect recipe, right? Everyone's different and everyone has their own challenges in their mind. A lot of my challenges that I worked on were overcoming the self-doubt, right? Overcoming the idea that it could possibly not happen and what if, right? So working a lot on fear, working a lot on self-doubt, and a big tool that I used for that was visualization. So when I would be training, when I would be running, whether it was on the treadmill or outside, I would visualize what it would be like to have people either on Zoom or running in person with me, because that was part of my 35 miles in 22 hours. And just visualize what that would feel like. What would it feel like in my body? How would I be experiencing the conversation with the person? What would their face look like? How would I feel? Would I be smiling? Would I feel tired? Would I feel my mind challenging itself? What would I be going through? How would I be embodying the experience? So I really used visualization a lot as I prepared for my run. And then the third thing was running, obviously. So when I was running, really focusing on intentional running. So really thinking about what I was doing as I was doing it, really working on my form, really working on my consistency, and really working on increasing not only my strength and strength training, but that endurance and stamina by, doing tempo work and hill work and, long tempo repeats and all those pieces that make that running really strong. So that was a little bit about kind of my, recipe for success. So when it came time, it's here last Friday, and I tried to go into it with the intention of having fun. And that's hard for me because I like to get shit done. I like to get shit done. I like to be serious. I like to be driven and focused. And so trying to hold that with the air of fun was challenging. But I felt very grateful and lucky that I had a lot of people along the way to join me on Zoom, join me in person, to elevate my experience, to keep my mind distracted and enjoying the process. And that was really, really exciting. So I started the day off outside with my mom and my aunt and my husband and my dogs, and it was perfect. And then came inside for a couple rounds of runs and ran with some friends over Zoom, which was really fun. One from the UK, which was my coach, which was awesome. And some people from Illinois and some other states around the country. So that was exciting. And then I went back outside, finished my day in the light outside, then came back inside for the final couple rounds of runs. My goal was to complete 28 miles on my birthday, which I did. I was really shocked that I was able to complete 28 miles in from 11:22 in the morning to 9:30 at night. And I was really happy that I was able to do that. So then what I did is I went to bed, slept about 6 hours. I didn't really sleep well that night. I was worried about the next morning, worried about how my body would feel, even though I had taken all the precautions in between my runs to recover properly. So, using a massage gun, doing my mobility work, stretching, all those things. I still was a little concerned. So the next morning, got up, started my day outside at a lovely 13 degrees with my best friend in the dark, which was fun. I had never ran in the dark. So started outside, came inside, ran inside the next section of run with good friends on Zoom, then finished outside. And by that point, it was sunny, but still really cold. But I finished outside. So I finished in 22 hours, a little over, and when I was done, the biggest surprise to me was that I could have ran more. And that's wild. That's wild. After 35 miles, that's wild. I could have ran more physically. I could have ran more mentally. So it was proof to me that even though I knew it from seeing my clients use Transcend Strength for Runners, even seeing myself utilize it in my shorter runs and it be successful, for it to overcome 35 miles in less than 24 hours was incredible. And it was phenomenal. And I was thrilled. So it was one of the best things I've ever decided to do. It was a challenge. It was hard, but it was worth it. And my biggest piece of advice is, if you want to take on something like this, take on a challenge, whether it's your first half marathon or your first ultra or whatever it is, the first thing you have to do is decide. That's all I did. Decide. And then I created a plan, made a commitment, and moved forward. The other thing is, find a system. And fortunate enough to you, I have one, Transcend Strength for Runners. And if you want to know about that, definitely send me a message. I can tell you more. But you can do anything that you decide to do. And that was the biggest lesson I learned from this, is that it goes to show you that you can do anything you decide to do. I was strength training 4 days a week, running twice a week, running about 10 to 15 miles a week. And I ran 35 miles in 22 hours. You can do anything you want to do. Decide, dedicate, and do it. So I'm thrilled to say that I am now an ultra runner. I became an ultra runner a little after 9 o'clock on my 35th birthday. And that's something I'll always be proud of. And for those of you who joined me, whether you were virtually, in person, in spirit, I will ever just be forever grateful to you. I am blessed to just have so many wonderful people in my life, have a body that enables me to do the things I want to do weekly, daily, monthly, yearly. And I look forward to this year, seeing what else my body can do. And for right now, I'm going to celebrate, sit in this greatness. And I encourage you, if you run a race, try not to move on too soon. Try not to say, okay, check, on to the next thing. Sit in it. Show gratitude for your body. Let your mind and body sync up. You won't regret that. So this was my experience. This was my 35 miles in 22 hours on my 35th birthday, and I wanted to share a little bit about it with you. So any questions, always know you can reach out to me. And if you're looking to accomplish a goal in your running, whether it's your first 5K or your first ultra, I'm your coach. I'm here for you, to support you, to give you the systems that work, and to help you run faster, smarter, longer, injury-free. So you know where to reach me, reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to my story. I'm blessed to know you.